Team Nigma, they guarantee their spot in the upper bracket, but now you have to keep in mind, EG, they're safe. They already know what's going to be happening. They know what their path is, but Liquid hangs in the balance. If they're able to take this first game, they at least get a tiebreaker. If they can win this whole series, they will go on to the playoffs, but it's going to be Sumail versus Arteezy.
Thank you very much, panel. Suns fan here with Cinder. We made it back to the A stream. High five.
Hello.
Great to see you here, young man. This is going to be, as the panel talked about, an extremely hype match. Liquid versus EG. I mean, so many different storylines, but probably the most important, the standings. Liquid have to win 2 to ensure themselves to continue on in this tournament. If they draw, there's going to be a tiebreaker, and if they lose both, donezo.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I mean, in a way, it's nice to be in a situation where you're in charge of your own destiny, right? The really grueling moments are the ones where you've underperformed the tournament and you get to the last day and you need other teams to do really specific things so that you can get a second chance. Now they can take it into their own hands, and hopefully, based on what happened for them yesterday, they have learned... They've learned quite a lot, I think, along the way. They had to take some serious beatings.
Oh, God, there's a first blood. Unbelievable from far away as well. Look at that zoom action. Beautiful. Sumail ends up netting it for himself, which, of course, you know, I mean, he doesn't have his passive yet, but either way, amazing to get for your mid laner.
Yep, great start. He's one of the best heroes to get first blood on. This is already, assuming that this gets to, the lane gets to play a little bit in isolation in the start, I would say Shadow Fiend has a good laning stage against Batrider for the first 2 or 3 levels, and then it gets really hard. So being able to have a bit of a head start might actually end up flat out winning him the lane. That's a really big deal here. We've seen Abed have some standout performances on Batrider for EG across the last year, and this is the game. This is the kind of game that Batrider can just totally dominate if it has a free start. So good for Liquid to get that first blood on Sumail.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I covered the NA DPC, so been anxious to see some NA dotes coming onto the stream. Very excited to see Quincy Crew, obviously, but EG, as we can see, this first blood being replayed here, so a nice block there. But I don't remember Abed. I mean, I'm sure he plays this a decent amount, but in terms of the NA DPC, didn't really play much Batrider. It was... I mean, they've been flexing his heroes a little bit more often, which they didn't do for that first major. As you probably remember, they picked Puck, and then obviously in the grand finals, literally just Storm Spirit, who was just playing basically the spirits plus Puck for the most part. But this last season, they've been switching it up a lot, picking these heroes that could be flexed into multiple positions, which I think is obviously a nice thing to have in your bag for the draft.
I do think he played that, I want to say yesterday as well, in one of their games, as Taiga finds a kill on Arteezy.
That's early. Wow.
Yeah, this offlane Dragon Knight with the level 1 stun has already set them up 2 kills, and this is a very meaningful advantage. 1k gold minute 1.
Yeah.
As far as this top lane's gonna go, we've seen, I don't know how many games we've just seen Brood destroy so far, right? Like, absolutely annihilate the opposition. After 10 minutes you take, or maybe after even less, like 5-7 minutes, whatever, you take the safe lane tower, you start taking over the jungle, ultimately you make a rotation, get kills mid, get mid tower, and the map just shrinks. It is very, very important, this game for Liquid. I think it's the most important thing that Broodmother does not have a good time. So that's really, it is a lane to watch up here to see whether Mickey and Insania can shut down Ice enough.
Of the safe lane heroes to have, I mean, Axe has been, you know, he's been promoted from off lane to safe lane a lot of these games. This is a good hero, at least historically, against Broodmother.
Yeah, it's just a different hero now, though, right?
It is.
Like, the reason you wanted Axe in the past was that Brood would start making spiders early on, and you could just always fight them and kill them off, and you could never harass the Axe. But with this new Brood, it's a lot more about spell damage from the ulti on level 6. It's a lot more about just, you know, having the raw ability to just fight head on. I still do think Axe is pretty good. Like you said, he should be able to at least stand his ground, but whether he can just bully out Ice, I wouldn't be so sure. I think this is still a lane that Brood will farm in, and so far he's got easily the highest CS on his own team. Looks like all the other lanes are going terribly. Comparatively.
Yeah, I mean, the Arteezy death obviously didn't help. Abed so far, I mean, it is against an SF who can just raise down all the creeps, but not doing too hot at the moment, but it is relatively early on. I mean, okay, I know that you're going to be a little negative Nancy here with the Hoodwink pick. I do want to talk to you about that in just a moment, but Fly looks like he's going to get off the Earth Spike, but not sure if that's going to actually result in a kill, as Arteezy just wants to go back and farm. Ice, though, all right, the Hoodwink save. Nice bushwhack there, but Ice is just going to get bursted down by Mickey and Insania, it looks like. Although they need one more right click. No, the Battle Hunger's there, but the health regen from the webs is helping. It's not going to help enough, though. So down he goes finally. And yeah, so essentially all the lanes are being lost right now in terms of EG's perspective, at least by a little bit. But back to the Hoodwink. This is a hero, again, North American Dota. They pick pretty consistently. It's looked okay at times, but a lot of people, like yourself, are not big believers. What are your thoughts on this position 4?
I think position 4 on average is going to be the best role for the hero. I'm usually a fan of laning with a hero that I can set up kills with, because one of Hoodwink's biggest strengths is the early levels. Like level 3, this hero actually outputs a lot of damage. You have a pretty good stun in that lane. Similar to Tree and Protector, there's just areas of the map your hero is just flat out worse in, right? I think one of the spots Hoodwink is very good at is either side's position, or sorry, tier 1 towers in the side lanes. So either bottom tier 1 or top tier 1 for either team. Those areas have a lot of trees. They have a lot of like little crevices that Hoodwink can surprise coming out from and just landing the spells, but Broodmother just doesn't strike me as, you know, the stereotypical good lane for Hoodwink.
All wrapped up.
Only time will tell here.
To pressure Taiga.
Yeah, Crit doesn't make that
Taiga's
rotation.
dead.
He's super dead. Abed ends up getting the last hit for that one, and that is much needed, as we can see from just the CS alone. 11 and 6 for him. As top lane, we're seeing the Berserker's call. Now that the Hoodwink has rotated over, Liquid feels very free to try and get this kill. It's ticking out very slowly. The Fire Spirits didn't hit there, but it didn't really matter. Enough was already there. But Sumail getting chased down by Abed. Now a lot of stacks with that Firefly. And Koikpa made the rotation from bottom, but all he can do is throw out a breathe fire.
Yeah, this, it's one thing for Sumail to die, but for Koikva to TP in and fail to connect in time is actually like an added loss. Because now he has to walk back to bottom. Shadow Fiend cannot rotate away from mid lane and go bot yet, and I don't think he wants to full-time jungle just yet at minute 5. So
right.
Koikva's going to do the long walk to bot, and obviously Taiga being left alone down here. EG are not going to give him an inch of space, so they bully him all the way away. It's going to take some pretty good damage on the return here, though, this ghost creep. He could even die.
Yeah, that creep is so annoying. Body blocks from Koikpa to follow. Plasma Field comes out, but Arteezy looks like he's going to go down here. So that's a second death for him, and it's only 5.5 minutes. So I mean, we didn't really get the chance to talk about just the idea of a safe lane Razor in this particular game, but I mean, again, all these lanes, other than the mid lane, where Abed looking for another kill. 3 stacks of Sticky Napalm with that Firefly again. So despite getting off to a bit of a rough start, that's 2 kills in a row onto Sumail. And now the Acorn shot top with the right clicks of Ice, but the Berserker's Call is going to keep him alive a little bit longer with the extra armor, but it's not to be. Finally, a return kill in the top lane for EG, as this lane was definitely going in favor of Liquid until then.
Yeah, he still
and Arteezy making a really fast rotation here in top into that static link with the Hoodwink setting things up, and a double kill for Ice. So you talk about how important this is from both perspectives in terms of the Brew getting off to at least some sort of a start where you can snowball. Now it's looking a lot better.
I know, this is like the most bizarre lasted distribution I've seen in a game this tournament.
It's true. That is
the position 4 of Liquid has more CS than any EG hero minute 630. Arteezy has 23 CS in the safe lane. Abed has 16 in mid. They have no creeps.
Yeah, at first I thought that was actually sorted by team for a moment there. Very, very
and
strange.
Phoenix is just playing neutral. He's not on either team.
Yeah, we have the Troll Summoner here. Fly gets netted for now, and that last right click is enough. Meanwhile, top lane, you can see Arteezy still. He's being a real nuisance up here. He didn't want to play in the bot lane anymore. They're just giving that up completely for the time being.
Yeah, not very commonly you see Razor rotate away from the Dragon Knight lane. That is new Dota right there. This if you offered up this lane a year ago, you could get Razor against Dragon Knight, you'd be like, I am going to absolutely destroy this lane no matter who the support is on each team.
And look at this team jungling from Liquid as well.
Yeah.
4 of them in their own jungle right now, as the tier 1 neutrals are finally starting to drop
Top
here.
tower fell minute 7.
Yeah.
So par for the course for Brood.
Indeed.
So it begins. Level 6 is going to come up, and this is where, you know, a lot of heroes at this point are just like, okay, I'm never going to lane here anymore. Axe can in this game. I think Dragon Knight kind of doesn't want to. Phoenix is one of the better supports to do this, actually. Not really because it's good at killing spiders, but because it's a hero Brood can't really kill. The Icarus dive distance is too far, and even if Brood does manage to chase down, you still have the town portal. So you can at least stay afloat if you want to, but I think the ideal play is to somehow plant Mickey up here. But again, with the new Brood, you could kill this Axe with +1 or +2 supports. So even Axe will not be fully safe in this lane, just the raw magic damage with the Bola, with the probably 2 charges of ult if the fight is long enough. You see Crit gonna start here.
Yeah, just trying to be...
He doesn't care about spiders so much.
Yeah, that's... I mean, Crit is level 5, though. He's doing quite well for himself right now. Is Abed getting chased out of the mid lane for now, but looks like Koikwa is going to come around the other side with that Dragon Tail. That's going to be a very swift kill in favor of Liquid. Now Crit has to get the hell out as Koikwa applies some pressure to that tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, Arteezy still in the enemy jungle. Mickey attempting to TP out. Static link damage, not quite enough. And with this, Liquid going to decimate this tower. I'm not sure if they can get the full. It's going to get to at least about half HP.
Fly's level 6.
That is very true. That is
a problem for Sumail, who's going to die now. Look at
Sumail in that tower himself right now. That is another death requiem for Sumail. That's 3 deaths for him already at the 9-minute mark. Not something you're used to seeing for him. And Ice, like we saw, just soloing this tower. And I mean, there's no Axon nearby, so they can't really do much. Attempt to deny.
Good, it's
not going to happen.
Okay, so we have cast this game 5 times this tournament. Brood takes Snake Lane Tower, Brood takes mid tower around minute 10, and now Brood takes this jungle. So
yes,
let's talk about, from our experience of watching this game, what the other team usually does and what they should do. With the heroes they have, nobody can really enter Brood's zone right now unless it's like a 3 or 4 man rotation, because Axe is also susceptible up there. So I think what Liquid should be trying to do, which they were trying, was to get that mid tier 1 tower before Brood got theirs. But that response was obviously great from EG. So what's the play? Wait for next Dragon Form, try to hit mid again perhaps, so you can like equalize that mid lane. And most importantly, you need to protect Sumail. He's level 7 on Shadow Fiend minute 10. I mean, that is not good.
Offlane Koikwa on this DK is a level higher, like you said. Static Link, that's a lot of damage on Arteezy, but he's going to get pressured now from Taiga and company. He should be going down pretty easily. And good down he goes. And Sandy in the meantime, Abed.
No dive.
Yeah, that's a lot of sticky napalm stacks. So that's going to be a trade across the map. Obviously in favor of Liquid here. But no, you're right. The Brood Mother just, I don't know. I mean, we can talk about the draft all we want. I don't understand how this hero is getting through. Especially, I mean, that was, what was that, a 4th pick, Brood, I want to say?
It was 1st pick.
It was overall 1st pick.
I think so, but you're thinking of yesterday's series where we got first,
probably.
5th pick,
This is
and I
going to
could not believe it.
be a finger of, no, not even needed. Sharpshooter from Crit. And that's another kill onto the DK.
Yep.
I mean, it feels like from Liquid's perspective, they need, at the very least, a blink on either Axe or DK to try to catch Ice out, and then obviously you need more on top of that to be able to kill him. But I feel like a lot of the damage is already done. I mean, look at this thing.
You know, you don't want to write out a team when the game is even, right? It's not like, we're not going to paint the picture here that EG is just crushing them and the game is over. That's not the case at all. The reason we have the bias that we do to how this game runs out is that we've just seen so many games with this start have a similar outcome. So I am just looking for the solution for Liquid to turn that storyline around. Like, how do you avoid what has happened to so many teams in this tournament already, including what you did to Team Spirit twice yesterday? How do you avoid that happening? Like, you know how Brood works. You know how to play it. It's one of Koikwa's specialties. You have to have a plan that you execute. So I'm just looking for it. Like, I'm curious to see what Liquid are going to do.
I mean, as Fly might get caught out here.
Probably mega dead. Yeah, he is.
Yep, Earth Spike is there, but you can see the damage from both the Enchantress and Phoenix are way too much to deal with. But I mean, anytime you have a hero
down at 11.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. But again, like you said, par for the course. But when you have a hero or a player that specializes in specific heroes, it feels like a lot of times there's confidence in playing against it.
Right, so, because you know what the counters are.
Right, or you think you do.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it is, again, Liquid were up pretty early. I want to say about 2K at the, you know, what was it, like 7-8 minute mark, but this has quickly kind of snowballed back in favor of, well, it's about even, I guess, but in terms of map control, definitely in favor of EG right now.
Yeah, it's good from Liquid that they managed to get the mid-tier 1, at least when they did. A lot of Brood games we've seen, their mid-tier 1 stays for up until like 15 or 20 minutes. At least getting that down at about 10 is good news. But okay, we've talked a lot about the Brood. The other hero that I want to focus on from EG is the Batrider, where you're playing into basically no natural dispels. So sticky napalm is going to be a massive problem that EG or that Liquid have to itemize against. You're looking at Mantas, you're looking at BKBs, Lotus Orb. Manta's going to come out on Axe. Shadow Fiend got shut down really hard. If you're having a great Shadow Fiend game, you're looking at a BKB in like 2 or 3 minutes. If you have a really good time. With Dragonlance, probably a little bit later, let's say 3 minutes. That would be 1,000 GPM here on out for Sumail to make that. That is not going to happen. So you might have to like weather the storm and try to just farm and play defensively out of flat out fear for the Batrider to run you over in fights. The problem I see is if you slow down that much, you know you're controlling less than half the map. So you are going to get out farmed over time.
But tell me about this though, from EG's side.
Oh, he was bad.
Yeah, that is the early boots of travel. He's going to set things up with that lasso, and with the rest of the team here, that is going to be a swift one again in favor of EG. But from EG's like just their lineup perspective,
Very good either, right? We've been talking about Shadow Fiend. Razor can be a true carry with the talents and the levels. The anti-carry like profile that he has is obviously a part of the hero, but it's not necessarily a requirement. He's going to draw from it as long as he has a target for a static link, right? He doesn't have to remove an enemy hero from the game as long as he drains something in the late game. He has a lot of attack speed with the right talents. He can itemize to become a carry. And in this game, there's some pretty reliable targets in fights. Like if Dragon Knight goes in or if Axe goes in, they're not randomly just getting out of your static link again. Like, they're committed. They don't have like Stampede or anything. Get out.
Wank again, the bushwhack, and
Didn't he literally just die?
He basically did, yeah. He's going to sit in the fountain a little bit longer, and you can see that the net worth for Mickey, not, I mean, this is position 1 Axe again.
Can we get
middle attack.
Can we get a GPM check for Axe for the last minute? It might be minus 20.
Yeah, that's
not so good for Mickey there. All right, Liquid are going to make their own move. They find Ice.
Yeah, there's the Blink Dagger onto Koikva, into the Dragon Tail, and a lot of magic damage with the egg being expended as well. They are not taking any chances. They saw that juke the other day. I mean, that was Koikva himself making that juke. So like, just make sure you lock him down, right? Just need the stun.
That's what it takes. 4-man rotation with their spells used. Sumail, yes, stun.
Nice Requiem just in time. The static link is applied though. Arteezy getting bursted down with his magic and the impetus to finish him off with a finger of death. He's going to use to take out the Phoenix. It's a 1 for 2 if you want to include the Broodmother kill earlier and make it an even trade in terms of numbers alone. That's Sumail getting surrounded again. Abed and the spiders with that Firefly.
Illusion.
Manta, or I guess it was the illusion rune being popped technically. And that is another death through Sumail. And this is a buyback onto the Phoenix.
That was so
does EG want to continue here?
Crucial rune. If he doesn't have this illusion, he dies instead. But now he gets the kill on Shadow Fiend. And I like what Liquid did killing the Brood, honestly. They made a big rotation. EG were just ready to counterplay.
Yeah, we got lasso again. I mean, this was used pretty early on in the fight, so it's up. And this is going to be another kill for EG. Feels like they're finding the picks that they need.
Yep.
I mean, Lion almost, I mean, he's not that far from a Blink Dagger. And I believe Mickey had changed his mind. He was going for Manta. I think he got Yasha and is going for a Blink Dagger last I checked. But yeah, so not even going for the traditional thing that we've been seeing with the Manta style shard.
I'm not sold. The reason I'm a little bit worried about him going Dagger is that he gets one shot, right? He has a blink call, but against this lineup, he's not getting out again. He's going to get drained by Razor. There's going to be the Batrider sticky napalm. He's blinking into a team that has really good counter stuns. Like there's the Hoodwink, Bushwhack. There's Lion Hex, who, like you pointed out, will have a dagger soon. He's got to be really, really careful with how he initiates. I guess Sumail's BKB is coming up. That's a very, very important timing for Liquid. All right, Koikva's in.
Yeah, the Bushwhack misses because of the long-ass TP on that outpost. And as a result, that will be a pickoff on Fly. Gonna delay his Blink Dagger timing just a little bit. I mean, overall, you have to be pretty happy with his position in terms of just itemizing for that Blink. I mean, anytime you can get that Blink instant Hex, it's pretty freaking valuable.
So I think the next timing that you're looking at with Liquid is Sumail having the BKB and max souls and Axe having the dagger. Then I think you have a good opportunity to take a good fight. If you get a clean fight, you might even be able to get Roshan, something that neither team is particularly good at in this game. They don't really have any natural Rosh killers on either team. So it might be a pretty late first Rosh. We could be looking at like 25 minutes or later. In some games this tournament, we've seen it killed at like minute 10 by Ursa's or minute 15 with like some sort of Snapfire Solar Crest combination. But in this game, that does not seem to be on the menu. So gonna be a little bit slower as we see pretty standard, right? Brood is controlling this jungle, so Liquid are going to congregate in the bottom jungle. They're either gonna overwhelm the Brood and try to kill him and get some space, or they're gonna not play that area of the map at all. Make it wandered up there, he got killed, didn't come back there again.
Yeah, I mean, they do have some push potential
mid.
themselves, of course. Yeah, Mickey again.
This is not a possible kill for these two.
Yeah, the bushwhack, I mean, flying not in the vicinity, and it feels like a lot of these kills are kind of...
They're trying to bait TPs, I think.
Yeah, that could be the case. But Abed, it feels like, is needed for a lot of these kills, just to reposition. Like you said, the Liquid jungle is officially EG's right now.
There's BKB on Abed.
And Crit does have the Solar Crest, so this Roshan...
Okay.
I mean, it's not the fastest Roche. We'll see if they can get in time. In terms of Liquid's Roche fighting capabilities, obviously the egg is pretty big. No blink, I believe, not on Mickey quite yet. But in terms of the AoE, not a huge presence aside from Phoenix.
The mindset for EG here might be, we have bad BKB, we think it overpowers everything. So if they come and fight us, we think we can win. And perhaps they won't even expect us to Roche because our lineup isn't really built for it very well. But,
true.
you know, any lineup with Solar Crest and a lot of units hitting Roche eventually will get the kill. And this was, I don't know, a grand total of 30 seconds killing this Roshan. I'm guessing Liquid kind of know this is happening. They haven't seen a hero on the map for...
Well, it's either that or they're smoke ganking, right?
Right. But the spread that Liquid had on the map for that did not look like they were expecting a smoke, right? They were totally split out. Multiple cores farming in the jungle close to each other, usually not how you react to smoke, so they're just willingly conceding this Aegis. And I would imagine that we're going to see Batrider, probably EG, looking to make a smoke move relatively soon. They don't really have any objective to claim up here. I don't think it's high ground time just yet. So looking for some sort of an initiation where you take advantage of Batrider's 9-second BKB, of the Brood pipe, or you just park Brood top and force rotation out of Liquid so that you can win that 4v4 that you force somewhere else, or even 4v3 if Brood is scary enough.
Right.
Those are the options that you always have with this hero in your team. By the way, seeing Ice going for the full aura build, not just the pipe, which we've seen some do. He's going Greaves in addition. So very aura heavy.
Very cool. Okay.
And that does mean, because we were debating, like, okay, can Razor carry this game? They're definitely invested in the idea that both Brood and Bat will be utility. Batrider can do a lot of magic damage, obviously, but there's one physical hero in their team right now.
Fly Smoke's going to be popped here. Taiga not spotted out quite yet. But wow, that was right after the TP, too. So that'll be a freebie for EG, as Arteezy will steal all that beautiful damage. This is going to be kind of an annoying kill, actually. Oh my, Koikfa caught out, though. He gets the Dragon Tail up, attempting the TP out. Bushwhack is there, though, from Crit. And that's going to be a kill for Abed.
I think Koikfa might have counted the seconds there and thought he could get out, but Hoodwink, being level 10, has that Bushwhack cooldown talent. One of the best level 10 talents in the game, in my opinion. -4 second cooldown on your primary stun. It is so good.
And so, I can really tell you play Hoodwink, just knowing that level 10 talent.
It's yeah, and you got to play a lot of Dota to know what your talents are.
Well, Hoodwink specifically, I feel like a lot of people do not play this hero right now, in pubs especially.
I mean, the reason I have a relatively strong opinion on the hero is that I play it a lot, right?
Right, you want it buffed. And
I have like my own experiences.
This is your own propaganda for Ice Frog. I understand how you work.
I'm not gonna, yeah, and I absolutely hate Brood, so please nerf it. I mean, there's nothing in the tournament so far that indicates Brood needing a nerf. That's just my own personal bias, right? I think, yeah.
We'll have to wait and see how the tournament continues. Maybe there's a grand plan to it all, okay?
There might be.
I mean, maybe the Greaves is not good, you know? Maybe that's what will be EG's end.
Yeah, buff Greaves.
But right now, I mean, Liquid, it feels like they're very...
dangerous
best move in the double blink here. Yeah, Arteezy pops the BKB, going on top of Sumail. Can't even pop the Requiem, attempting to TP out instead. Looks like he'll be successful as the egg comes out. Will stun Arteezy through that BKB. In the meanwhile, Ice. Looks like they want to continue the pressure, but, I mean, Sumail went all the way back to base, so they're not having a lot of that damage, but it looks like Arteezy is going to be taken up, but that is, of course, just the Aegis. Sumail still waddling back to this fight. Eventually will make it. Koikfa gets hit by the Acorn shot. I believe that was a stun there from the Axe initiating in with that Blink Dagger now that he has, but the Impale's going to be there. And Arteezy stealing all that beautiful damage from Mickey. Sumail dies in the backside. Actually, no, that was the Requiem getting a kill, in fact. 2-0 in favor of EG. Sumail looks like this will probably be the Death Requiem for him finally. And EG, a very scattered fight, but they come out way ahead. 4-0.
If you think about how Batrider and Brood work as heroes, right, this is the kind of fights they want. They have all the terrain advantage in every fight over heroes like Shadow Fiend and Dragon Knight until Dragon Knight has Ags. They're just plastering the area in webs, and Batrider flanks from the back when BKBs are down. you have no escape path
Yeah.
as Liquid in this fight. Like, you're stuck on this high ground, and the enemy team all have like cheat codes on where they can just move around everywhere. So it's really difficult. If you've ever played like Age of Mythology or whatever, and you can just like suddenly just, you know, cast like nukes, it's not really fair, and that's sometimes what it feels like playing against these heroes with flying vision or flying movement.
Mickey gets scouted out here. That was a very, very ambitious TP, and it's going to cost him another questionable death. And it's funny because in that last fight, I thought that it was a death requiem from Sumail because I've just been hearing him die over and over. It was a real requiem, and then a death requiem after. Looks like he's going towards Scuddy. He has the 8-second BKB now, but it feels, I don't know. The double BKB, I mean, the double blink, I understand why they're doing it, but there's so much pressure on them to initiate, but they're not really getting the fights that they want right now.
You can kind of understand where they're coming from when you see how the fights play out, right?
Yeah.
Like, in terms of mobility, they're just dwarfed by the EG lineup, so you kind of have to itemize some sort of way of fighting because you lost map control to Brood, so you need to fight your way back into getting some map back. You can only fight your way back against Brood and Bat if you have catch, so you have to buy that catch because your lineup doesn't have it. And then when you buy that catch, well, you get 10 seconds. If you don't get the kills, Batrider and Brood are going to win that every time. And I love the way Arteezy started that fight for EG. He literally just popped BKB, ran into 3 heroes, static linked Sumail, forced into TP base, and yeah, Liquid kind of held their ground and fought for a while, but their biggest damage dealer was in base healing up. And when he connected back, like you said, he did get off a Requiem, but it wasn't a great one, and then he died straight after.
I mean, they're just struggling, I mean, for the most part with damage. I mean, we talked about how Sumail has died a bunch of times. That makes sense, but then your position 1, it just feels like you're an offense. He pops the BKB just in time, dealing some damage from Sumail. The Requiem coming up, but the Laxo cancels it. The egg is about to pop, though. It's going to be close. Sumail staying alive for now into the Requiem. This is exactly what they needed. They get the kill on Abed. Arteezy looks to be next. Does cost them Sumail, but he's died so many times this game, doesn't really matter. As Phoenix buys back in the game now. There's the Bushwhack keeping the DK in place. Ice on a killing spree. And now Axe is going to be focused on by Ice and Crit from the sideline. Fly looks like he'll finally be taken out in this fight. And this did cost a buyback from Liquid, but they're at least getting some kills here. Mickey, in the meantime, pops up Berserker Skull, buyback onto the Lion now. And they're actually going to TP into this outpost, so Taiga will be able to get out. But this looks to be a dieback onto the Phoenix, so I mean, kind of a back and forth fight. I feel like Liquid got those 2 cores pretty early on, but they still ended up losing the fight because Ice just went ham.
They did a really good job keeping Sumail alive. I think it was a full duration Sunray coming out from Insanium, making him survive that, survive the lasso into Razor Static Link combination. So just barely didn't have enough damage, and they got the Requiem off, did some good damage, but again, even if they find these kills, they have to expend everything. And every time you kill 1 or 2 of these cores, it's not like EG are out of steam. Like, their supports have a lot of damage to bring of their own, and Broodmother was untouched the whole fight. It's really difficult to account for everything as Liquid here, and I don't think that was a bad execution, for the record. They're just really far behind, so good isn't good enough right now. It needs to be flawless.
Tower is under attack.
Yep, and we'll find out in about a minute when the next Roche will spawn, so that will... I assume EG is going to be looking for a pick-off before going for that because obviously the second Roche is kind of a big-time thing here. Although the Shard, I'm trying to think whose Shard would be good for this game.
Not Hoodwink, because that one is not very good.
Yeah, the Hoodwink Decoy.
It's one of the worst.
I don't think I've ever seen it used before.
It is not very good.
A lesser Bushwhack is applied, but... yeah, that one sounds questionable at best. But then again, a lot of people thought the Ags on Hoodwink sounded questionable. And we've been seeing it pretty much every game that Hoodwink's been picked.
The Hoodwink Ags is good.
Crit is building it here.
Yeah.
Mickey did get the Manta Cell. I'm not sure if his Shard is done yet. Otherwise, it won't have much offensive capability. Nope. So going for that next, and that's kind of his, I guess you can call Power Spike right now. Where that's a lot of the damage that are missing. I mean, again, you pick a position 1 Axe, that's literally what you're picking it for. Right?
I don't think I've seen that hero win yet.
What?
Position 1.
I've seen it.
Did it win yesterday?
Probably.
We cast an Axe game yesterday with Carry Axe. I don't remember if it won.
I've definitely seen position 1 Axe because I always feel happy when it happens.
Well, I mean, we've seen it, but
it's won.
It has won?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Making that up, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So.
Yeah, I'm also making up that it hasn't won, so we're good.
All right, we cancel each other out. Very nice, Mickey. The smoke, it is popped. Looks like they have the vision there, but that's the initiation. Again, this is from EG's side, bringing Mickey to the high ground, trying to get healed by Insania. Just gets bursted down. Very quick kill for EG and no buyback for Mickey, so Taiga has to get the hell out, but they're going to focus their pressure onto Sumail. Bushwhack does miss, but Kamel pops the BKB, trying to go for the Requiem. Ends up dying shortly after, though. So 2 for nothing, and this is where the building damage comes in. And again, Roshan, another minute and a half, so we'll see how much damage they can do to these buildings in the meantime. I mean, that again, that's kind of the issue of the game in a nutshell, right? You have the initiation on Liquid, and EG is the one initiating.
Yeah.
Right?
They have the high ground position. They have the heroes that can break smoke at literally any corner. Both Batrider and the Broodmother are extremely difficult heroes to smoke into, because you never really know where the heroes are placed. And when your smoke breaks, it's hard not to panic, because it's like, against quote-unquote normal lineups, you have somewhat of a good feeling of where the enemy heroes are placed, so you can like maybe go for like a blink in or offer up a support for vision or just place a ward or whatever, but you can place a ward and still not see Bat and Brood.
Right.
And you just suddenly just get jumped out of nowhere, and that's exactly what happened. Axe didn't really know what to do when the smoke broke, gets blink lassoed, and it's one of those things that makes a last pick Batrider so strong to me is when you have, oh boy, and we have a Koifa problem here.
Yep, that's a lot of FPS problems too, but it's not going to matter for EG as they're going to take him out instantly. But there's initiation from Mickey onto a bunch of spiders, but look at that hoodwink freaking stun, man. Jesus, that hero is actually insane this game, Sinner. I'm not just saying that. Mickey, in the meantime, looks like he's already at half HP, trying to run away. 2 dead already. Buyback onto the DK. Koifa can't really do much. Another beautiful stun setup from Crit, and this looks to be the end of game 1. My goodness. Bushwhack MVP. Not even a hero, just Bushwhack.
We've had a couple of Hoodwink games where Hoodwink looked great. I mean, I'm very impressed. I think Crit has played a great game here for 2 reasons. First of all, his spellcasting has been great. Secondly, he and Batrider have somehow managed to work together, which is impressive. Because
I'm telling you, from what I've heard from other regions is that during the just the DPC in general, a lot of other teams weren't picking this hero, but NA was consistently.
They have a lot of practice.
Yeah, exactly. At first, it was kind of underwhelming. I've said that on record as we see a billion spin webs into the fountain. Don't think that regen stacks though, Syndra.
No, it does not.
That would be hilarious if it did those. GGs are finally called, and Liquid, they are 1 loss away from being eliminated. Of course, if they win the next one, then we go to tiebreakers. But